Here's the challenge. I'll have 1 week to make some variant of Frogger and make it so much harder, and make a fully functioning Unity ML Agents program to score 100 points or above. But since Frogger's art style is extremely limited, I'm going to remake Crossy Road, which is an infinitely generated version of Frogger. It also has much better graphics and uses an orthographic projection, which makes the game look so much better. With that all said and done, let's start from the beginning. It's currently February 1st, and the first thing to do is figure out the terrain generation. In Crossy Road, terrain generation is broken down into different lines like this. Each line is either grass, water, or the road, and is definitely where I won't get squashed in the future. Next, to make the game look smooth, I added a camera to have a slight delay as the player moves. Instead of like Crossy Road, the camera goes forward, but in this game, the camera follows the player. Now that the background is all set up, it's finally time to add the obstacles. The obstacles contain a car and the logs in the river. For simplicity's sake and Unity's collision errors, the character will be able to swim. Here's how that works. If the player touches the water, it can't jump over the log, so if the log swipes the player off the screen, then it dies. Although it decreases the difficulty a lot, it gives the player much more accurate collision detection, furthering the user experience, which is way better than having inaccurate collisions but way harder game. For the car, all we have to do is spawn the car on either edge at the same speed that it was before, so other cars don't crash into each other. Also, let's crank the speed all the way up higher so it destroys the player. Perfect. But now, the game is a little plain. It's just Frogger with faster cars and logs. To add some sort of flair to the game, I added a camera shake and made it so if the player clips the camera or gets hit, it looks way better. The idea for the next edition is something to get the player moving. In Crossy Road, the camera slowly moves forward, so if the player stops moving forward, then it clips the side of the camera, causing it to die. However, in this game, the player can only die from crashing in a car or from a log, so there's no incentive for the player to keep moving forward. So I added meteors and missiles. Meteors essentially gives the player 1 to 2 second warning and then fires with a super fast velocity. The next obstacle to get the player moving was the missile. The missile deals no damage, meaning it can't kill the player, but it can knock back the player off the map, so if the player is standing still, it will go flying into space. Now it's time to crank up things exponentially. The game starts off relatively easy, giving the player actual time to think, but once the player moves more than 5 score, the game increases difficulty by so much. The cars and the meteors go way faster and ultimately go too fast for the human mind to comprehend, which is why I trained a Unity ML agent to train and master the art of a Crossy Road. I've never used Unity ML agents. In the past, I've used a super simple brain and a computing to go into the answer and see what the brain says. However, Unity's machine learning agents are extremely useful and definitely a better option than writing your own machine learning algorithm. Now this code you see on screen looks super complicated, but here, let me break it down. Let's start with the method initialize. This method is only ran once per training period. It is this place where you can start everything, reset or build a map. For this situation, the only thing we are setting is the player back to his original position. Next is on episode begin. Basically, this is where you call things where you want things to happen each generation for a frame. On episode begin is only called once, and end episode is just to end the generation. On action received is the actions for calling for moving. Those are the main points of Unity's ML agent system. But if you want a full in-depth tutorial, I really recommend Dapper Dino's video. Next up is to train it. Let's see what happens after 5,000 generations. Yeah, nothing really happened. Basically, I ran the program for about 6 to 7 hours. I probably made the game a bit too hard. Well, I'm going to see if it gets 100 score somehow and call it a day. There we go. It hit 100. even when the average mean is still about 1% out of 100%. No matter, we completed the challenge. There we go. That was Frogger, but way harder. Looks like Crossy Road, but still, a good challenge. 300 subscribers, so if we could hit that before this video starts, then that would be epic. Anyways guys, take care and peace. I'm out. Next video is in another year. Bye.